tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads from over 200 countries and your #1 source in after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, everybody. I am your host today for another AfterBuzz Spotlight on interview, and I am lucky enough to have in studio with me today, rich kid of Beverly Hills, Morgan Stewart.
Hello. Hi.
Thank you so much for coming out today.
Thank you so much for
leaving the 90210.
I left. It was a far distance outside. I traveled. I felt like I needed a passport to come out here.
People have said, planes, trains, automobiles to get here, but we're here now.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Well, I want to just jump right in, I guess. And before we talk about the show or your blog, your website, I want a little bit about you, I guess, because in watching the show, we see a little bit about, we kind of see what Dorothy's parents do, and like they've gone back, and I know your mother is not American, or employed,
or American. Yeah, no, neither of those.
And so, do you ever go back? Did you feel like you grew up, even though growing up here in Beverly Hills, that you grew up differently, not because of growing up in Beverly Hills of privilege, but having, that extra culture in the home?
I think that is, honestly, it's good. That's a really, God, Courtney, you started with such a good question. It's really, really, really true. I think that if my mother was not European and she was not from where she was, I would be a completely different person, and not in a good way. I feel like she's from Switzerland. A lot of people think she's Russian. She's not Russian. And I feel like her kind of normalcy and structure and tradition and manners and things that she instilled in me has kind of made me be a very, I'm going to say, likable, manageable human being.
I will vouch for that.
I think that if I had a mom who was like from here, not to say that all mothers from Beverly Hills are wackadoodles, but you do get caught up, and I feel like my mom has stayed true to like her roots and who she is as a person, and I think that is something I'm very grateful for.
Yeah, and I feel like from knowing, you're like, love you, Mom.
That sounded rehearsed. It wasn't. Jesus.
Well, but I think because of that on the show, I think you are very likable.
Thank you.
I mean, and even just sitting here with you, I knew going into it, it would just be very comfortable, that you're just going to be one of those people that we could just sit and talk like girlfriends, and it would just be that way. It wouldn't be rehearsed or staged where it's like, okay, question number 3.
Right, and my PR is sitting right here. Could you help me out with that? No, it's true. From the show, getting that feedback is something that I was a little bit surprised about. I thought that I came off a little bit more abrasive than I think I actually really do.
Oh, yeah, just more direct and kind of maybe
but people I feel like people do kind of relate to me a little bit more than I expected them to, which has been a really nice surprise for me.
Yeah, well, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of those pleasant surprises, not the other way.
Yeah, exactly. I was really excited about that.
And so growing up with her, have you been back to Switzerland?
I grew up going every single summer and every single winter for 2 weeks. Growing up going there, obviously, like my mom is one of 5. Her entire family lives there. They all speak Swiss German and very little English. So that was definitely not the most enjoyable time to spend your summers as a child, but I go back all the time. I'm going to go probably back, I want to say, in 3.5 weeks for a little bit.
Nice.
Yeah, so I spent a lot of on the top of the mountains and then in Zurich in the city.
So where in Austria then?
Switzerland.
Switzerland.
It's the
I'm
same
thinking
thing.
Austria because I go to Austria to ski in the Alps and the Swiss Alps, and so it's all the same. And so I was just thinking,
do you want to be on Rich Kids of Beverly Hills? That's culture.
Yeah, I totally, but I'm not, I'm from Vegas originally.
I love Vegas.
So.
I went to a fake Vegas this weekend, which is Atlantic City.
Yes, it is the fake Vegas.
Don't go there.
They have no idea what they're missing out east when they don't come here.
Yeah. No, she's from Zurich.
Okay, that's where I fly into.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. And then my grandparents have a cabin in the mountains in a place called Unterberg, which is like the 3 of us and like a mountain and like a butcher and like one phone.
So, and that would be your cell phone? And
that would be my cell phone.
Yeah. Does it have Wi-Fi?
Growing up, I was like, we walked the mile to call my dad. Like, this was before any of this technology even existed, which is the craziest thing to even think about.
So when you go back, is it still that way? Is it still kind of...
They don't evolve much. It's that way.
But it's kind of, I mean, I like, the first few days are kind of stressful. I always think. I went camping this summer.
Oh, I went camping a month ago.
It's so stressful because where I went, they didn't have cell phone service. And then as soon as I kind of got used to it, it was like the next day you leave. And so you get back and then your phone's blowing up and you're like, this is definitely more stressful.
Way more stressful. We went
not
camping.
Your phone.
No, but I'm one of those people that if my phone is dead, I'm totally fine. If it doesn't work, I'm totally fine. When it's on, I have to check it every second.
I feel like I'm kind of that same way.
But if it dies,
it's a blessing.
Don't care.
But
yeah.
But I also do everything to keep it on.
Yes.
Right?
Well, I'm like really kind of ghetto in a weird way. Like I never charge my phone at night, and then halfway through the day today, I'm like, why is my phone dead? That's so weird.
I've been having to do that because I've only had one plug for my iPad and my phone in the wall. And so, yeah, I'm like trying to find the balance of keeping them both fully charged. Right. But,
it's a balance.
It is a balance.
The struggle is real.
But I think that you have such a good balance. And I feel like if somebody didn't see you on the show and just met you, in the grocery store or something, that they would not have any idea that you come from the family that you come from.
Oh, that's nice.
I mean it because that is not true of everyone.
Right. No, I think that, people that come from wealthy backgrounds really do have a stigma. And there are some people that are truly like that.
Stereotypes come from somewhere.
Absolutely. And most, listen, when there's smoke, there's fire. It's just the facts. Hopefully I don't regret saying that. But it's true. I feel like there are people, people sometimes in their privilege feel like they're above people. And I just feel like from day one I was raised that you are not. Yeah. And you treat people with respect. And that's kind of what I've done my whole life.
Well, and seeing your mom, the few times she's been on the show, she definitely makes sure you keep that.
Yeah, no, she's like serious. She was good this last episode.
I loved it. I loved when she got so mad about the photo that you posted.
I mean.
From China. And but it's one of those where that's my mom. Right. That would be my mom and dad. They would be stealing my phone and deleting it, and so it's just, and that's what makes it like likable and relatable because it doesn't matter
what background
your background is. Your mom's gonna get mad when you post a photo she doesn't like.
Don't bend over in photos, kids. That was the moral of the story. Don't do it.
Any direction. Just
don't do it.
Just posture.
And she's big on that too. And that photo was not even something I thought twice. It was just funny. I jumped into the photo. She flipped and said, take that down. I was literally in China. She's like...
And I haven't checked. Did you take it down?
Oh, I took it down that instant.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's your mom.
I got told.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took it down.
Well, and that's kind of, with Brendan and living together and all of that. Are you still not living together?
We are not living together right now. Maybe well, as the season progresses, you will see where we stand with that.
Okay.
Ooh, look at the tease.
I love a teaser.
Yeah.
Just because that was another one of those things where you're so excited. It seems like the right move to make. And then mom gives her opinion.
Right.
And, take a step back. And it's like, even if I don't agree with mom, I have to respect mom.
Absolutely.
Right?
It was one of those things. Listen, it's one of those things. So many girls end up in a situation where they live together and it's all fun and games without any sort of real commitment. And then 2 years later, they're single. And then you've wasted all that time. So I think my mom's point was just like, if somebody's really serious about you, they'll hand you a ring and they'll move on with their life with you. You don't need to move in to like test out if you're going to make dinner enough for somebody else.
Right.
So I followed that advice.
Well, and I don't know if it still stands, but growing up, I remember the statistics showing that actually if you don't live together before you're married, odds are kind of in your favor. Yeah. And I think it's because you've already made that commitment, and so you're more inclined to just kind of overlook or find the compromise in those living situations rather than beforehand where it's like, I don't have a commitment to you, so if I don't like this about you,
that's it.
You have to change it or I'm done.
Right, which is no position I think any female or anybody really wants to find themselves in.
Not at all.
So that was really good advice now that we're talking about it.
Right?
Yeah. I'm happy I listened to that. For sure.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, so let's talk. I guess we kind of have been talking about the show, but kind of the nature of, I guess.
Let's talk more about the show.
Let's talk more about the show. So what made you decide, having reality TV be so much a part of our lives for the past probably decade?
I know, I'm obsessed
going
with it.
into this. So it's kind of like you knew what you were getting into, but now that you've done it, did you really know what you were getting into?
You know what? I'm one of those people that honestly have felt that there was cameras following me around before there was even a show. It wasn't like, am I going to do this dramatic thing? Like, I've just felt always very connected to kind of this industry, and I just always felt like I had a personality and a certain pizzazz. We're just going to quote that right now. And I felt like this was just a natural fitting for what I could do with my life. And so I really, I don't think you ever can really fully expect the exact scope of what you get yourself. I mean, it's,
of course.
People laugh, but it's a lot to have people follow you around all day long. Like, my life and the show are one, obviously.
Right.
But it's been an amazing experience, and I've really built up a certain stamina because I've just had to keep going and going and going and going, and getting to work with my best friends is kind of awesome too.
Right?
Which also sounded rehearsed, but Jesus Christ, I'm so nice. It's true. It's been really awesome.
And so this group, it was truly a group of friends. This wasn't like on some of the housewife shows where they go and they pull you and kind of confine you in a friendship setting to make a show.
I joke about this all the time, but my favorite is when people are like, "Where are you from?" It's like, but I get it. Some people really are not from where they say they're from, and the show is completely fiction or whatever. But nonfiction, fiction, I'm really smart, Courtney. So, what were we just talking about?
Just about doing the show, and let's see how you decided to do it. No, we're talking about living in Beverly Hills and people, reality TV and how real it is, basically.
Well, I don't know how real reality TV is for all shows, but for our show, real. We were all friends. We all knew each other far before the show came along. The relationships that you see on the show are relationships that have been around forever.
And do you think that any of you act a little different when the cameras are actually there?
I don't think that we act differently. I think that it really comes down to the editing of the show.
Okay.
And there's only 22 minutes. So if they need to paint a picture and, they can't include everybody in exactly the way it went down, they just can't.
Well, that happened. I watched some of it earlier today, just to refresh myself from season 1.
Right. Oh, season 1.
Yeah, that happened.
That was a rough season for me and my H-ins.
Your H-ins.
That was not fun for me. Okay, yes.
But now we're on to season 2.
Yeah.
But in season 1, there was, when you guys went to New York, the editing made it look like when Roxy wanted you guys to go look at the apartment she was decorating, that Dorothy was not at all excited about it. And then when you actually watch the episode, she comments about how excited she is before you even get a word in. And you're just like, wait a second. But in the teaser, in the trailer for this episode, you made it look like Dorothy's, mean mugging her about going.
Well, I mean, that's the thing about, the teasers of shows. They very rarely end up exactly how the episode is going to play out, which is very smart marketing, I think. There's a reason that people tune in. To be honest with you, I have very little memory of that whole episode, but yeah.
Well, just another day.
That seems like 10 years ago now.
Isn't that crazy how time flies?
Crazy.
So you filmed season 2 just earlier this year.
Yeah, for the past couple of months. I just wrapped, I want to say, I'm not even really fully, probably 2 weeks ago.
And so does it already feel, seeing these first episodes come out, does it already feel like that was so long ago, or does it still feel pretty fresh?
No, it feels pretty fresh this time around.
That's good.
But thinking back to season 1, I have 2 memories of the whole season.
Right.
I can't watch it back though. And also, if I watch an episode, no part of me wants to watch it again.
Really?
I don't, it's not for me.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch myself be like, and talk to everybody.
You're like, I live with myself every day. I don't need to relive.
Yeah, no, I'm not one of those people that rewatches the episode. That's it.
Yeah.
Once is enough for me.
So you do watch them once.
I watch them once, through my hands, and I'm just cringing the whole time. And then once it's over, it's over. And even if it's on, if it's on and we're home, whoever I'm home with, I feel like I have to kind of keep it on, of course, to support it. But I don't sit there and just rewatch the episode.
Look up TV Guide.
No.
Record every time it's playing.
No, I can't do that. Oh my God, I can't. It's not my favorite thing to do.
Not at all.
No.
So what's been your favorite thing about doing the show? If not watching back and kind of having a video diary?
That's so funny you bring that up. I was thinking about that yesterday. I was like, wow, I got to go to China and I get to have that on tape for the rest of my life, for my children, future children, it's forever. And I think that that's very cool. So it is very cool to have my life documented. Watching it might not be my favorite thing, but I think my favorite thing is being able to, have a reference of my life.
And then going back. And so you guys do the confessionals.
Yes.
And you don't see those beforehand, so you don't know what other people have said, correct?
We don't see anything beforehand.
Right.
Nothing.
So you just live your life, and they film it, and then it comes out.
And you answer your questions as truthfully as you do, and whatever they decide to choose, they choose.
And so has it ever surprised you, kind of the answers they choose in context with what we watch?
No. I think they've done a really good job of keeping things pretty real and consistent, and I think everything makes sense. The thing is, the show, I mean, a lot of the feedback is that it is very short.
It is.
So it's kind of like they really have to narrow down the answers that they get. But I think that, no, I think it's...
So do you think that they would ever go into doing...
An hour?
An hour. Or have they said anything about...
I think if we continue...
Why didn't they this time? Did they say?
I think you have to build yourself up to an hour, and
course.
I think an hour is definitely on the horizon for us. I think the show is just better and better, and I think that from season 1 to season 2, worlds apart.
Yeah, from what I've seen of season 2, because we're just. I feel like just getting started.
Just getting started, but it's crazy because we did our 4th episode yesterday.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. It's like all that, and it's just like done over in the blink of an eye.
And then you don't ever look at it again.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Exactly.
So you travel a lot on the show.
Yes.
Do you travel that much normally, or is it
because I've been
for the show?
Well, I do. I mean, prior to the show. I mean, we now kind of just travel all together, but I travel quite a bit.
Outside of.
I don't love to travel. I hate to fly.
Well, you've said you're a things, not a experiences kind of gal.
Yeah. I know.
Like, leave me at home on my couch with my bags.
I love to sit. It's like one of my favorite things to do. I love to sit, and like that's it. Like, I never have to get up. If I could sit in the car for 2 hours, I would. Like, that's why I was so happy to drive all the way out here.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, long drive.
We can do this.
Yes. No, traveling, I mean, I do travel. I travel a lot. Obviously, when we are filming, our time is obviously devoted to what we're doing as a group. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I travel to Europe a lot with my mom and things like that. And, Brendan and I go on little trips. We do Santa Barbara a lot and things like little road trips. Anytime I can avoid a plane...
You do.
I try to.
Well, yes, that's not your favorite.
It's not my favorite. Like. I'm getting better, but it's really one of those things where it's just like, oh, I can't stand it.
And you guys have done a lot of personal planes.
Yeah.
So is that better? Is there better? Because, everybody watches the show and they see you guys get on these planes and all they want is to get on a plane.
I know.
And fly private.
Flying private is one of the most... It's pretty amazing. I mean, you literally show up and you hop on an airplane. There's no security. There's nothing. It's the most relaxing way to get on an airplane. Mm-hmm. It's just in the air part when things start to shake around that makes it not so fun.
And is it worse then on a private plane just because they're smaller?
I gotta say it is.
Yeah.
It is a little bit worse. One time I was flying from Iceland, I want to think through. Where was I going? I don't even remember. And I remember it was raining and all of a sudden the plane dropped and I was like, oh, I'm done. Never again am I getting on a damn plane. Never again.
You're like, but I'm in Iceland now, so I guess.
Which was so random. I got to think of the route I was taking. But yes, that one drop really wasn't fun for me.
No. So what about cruises, boats?
I've never been on a cruise.
Me neither.
I don't think I want to go on a cruise.
No?
Sorry, Johnny, I don't want to go on a cruise.
Is that his thing?
Johnny loves the cruise. He's all about a cruise.
Funny.
Like, why do you want to be on a big ship?
He's single.
Right. And
so I feel like you have to be single to fully enjoy a cruise. I don't know. My parents tried to go on their first cruise maybe a month ago.
Right.
And so they flew to, I think, Miami.
Okay.
And they sat there for 2 days because the boat was broken.
Oh,
and
my
then
God.
They were going to miss one of the ports. It was going to be their favorite port. And so they ended up just getting a credit and going home.
Yeah.
And so they're just like, we're not cruise people. We've decided.
No, I feel like cruise, no, I'm not, I don't want to judge because I've never been on one, but that's not my first, can we plan a cruise this year? That's not my first thing.
I feel like, I love food. You love food? So
I love food.
I feel like that's the thing about a cruise, though. That's like the only intrigue is because I just hear it's like all you can eat all the time.
Oh, yeah. But that's fun for 2 hours until you're sick and you want to kill yourself. Yeah, no.
And now you're stuck on a boat.
And then you're on a boat with everybody. Yeah, no.
But yachts, those are different.
Yacht from a cruise, yes.
Very different.
Very, very different. I feel like cruise is like the camp of the sea.
I think we should quote you on that. I actually love that. The camp of the sea.
It's true, because it's like all the children mingle and then the parents mingle.
There's no Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Depending on where you go.
Oh, really? They still haven't updated that on cruise ships?
Oh, well, I mean on a yacht.
Oh, yachts.
I mean, some of them. No, but we're talking about cruises.
Yeah.
I'm trying to just switch to yachts.
Okay, no, yachts.
I just want to get on a yacht right now.
Okay, we have now entered a yacht. We are now on a yacht. Yachts are fun. Yachts are good. There's Wi-Fi on yachts.
I figured there would be.
I feel like,
There's probably satellite TV.
There's a lot on a yacht.
On yachts.
You can get as much drinks as you want.
As you want.
As many, yeah.
What about houseboats? Have you done houseboats?
No, don't they just do that in Havasu and stuff like that?
I think so.
Okay, no.
I've never been on one, but I've heard very good things about them.
Really?
Yes.
A houseboat, meaning
it just...
Why do I envision like topless girls dancing with red Solo cups on a houseboat? Is that not the correct image? And Joe Francis is on one.
I mean, that probably happens. That probably happens, but that's got to be farther than Havasu. Now we're talking Gulf of Mexico.
Courtney, I'm going to stick to the yacht.
I think you should.
I'm not getting it. You and I are on the yacht now, and we're sailing, and I'm not getting on the houseboat.
We're staying on the yacht.
I don't need a 6-pack. I want a glass of champagne.
Right. Don't drink beer?
I love beer.
You love beer. Okay.
Beer. I'm into beer. I love a Stella. What else do I like in beer? I do Corona once in a while when there's a lot of guacamole, and then 20 minutes later I'm like, I want to kill myself that I just had that much guacamole. But I'm into beer. Beer, but red wine is my vice.
Okay.
Every night I have a glass of red wine. Yeah. It's very European of me, Courtney.
It is. I'm learning. I'm learning how European you are.
Are you kidding me? You go skiing in Austria on the Alps.
Do you ski?
Okay.
All your trips every winter?
Listen, I've done the San Moritz gig. I like skiing, but again, I like sitting more than skiing. I go on the lift. I'm good. I'm good skiing. I'm really good at swimming.
Oh, I feel like that takes a lot of work.
I'm like oddly good in the water.
I like this.
Pool water.
Yes.
Salt water, I'm like walking into. I'm not like Brendan's like, let's go. I'm like, no.
You're like,
it's been 2 years. I still don't want to go into the pool.
Yeah. Well, when I was just in Florida, it was one of those where I'm thinking to myself, you guys all go to the beach and then you come home and there's all this sand and it gets in everybody's cars and it gets in everybody's places. Like, you guys need to come visit me in Los Angeles.
Right.
And I'm going to show you a hotel pool party.
Yes.
And it's going to rock your world.
Oh my God. We should go to one together.
We should go.
I'm telling you, I'm very, very, I could lay on a beach.
Yes.
I don't want to like actively engage in like any sort of volleyball anything.
No.
Do I suck? I feel like I have this conversation. I'm just like, I suck at life.
You
that
don't
I don't
suck
do
at
anything.
life.
I don't even,
You write.
Oh my God. I write.
You have a blog.
I do. I have boobsandloops.com.
Yeah. How did the name come to be?
Everybody asks me this question, and I wish I had a really good answer for you.
We'll make up a story.
But it was just like, I looked down and I had large boobs, and then I was wearing a lot of lubes at the time, and I was like, they rhyme. You're so smart and witty, and let's just put them together. And that's really how the title came to be.
I like it. You're smart and witty. My blog title came because I'm smart and witty.
I'm gonna own that.
Don't question.
And
you should.
The title came before there was even a blog. It wasn't like the title came. The title, I was just like, boobs and lubes, what could I do with that? What could I do with that? And then later I had a situation where I ended up just creating the blog. But it wasn't
a situation?
Yeah, well, not a situation. Somebody wrote something about me, kind of a nasty little article. And I felt like, okay, well, if somebody's gonna take time to write about me, then I might as well just set the record straight.
And this was long before the show.
Oh, this was 2010, honey.
Yeah.
I was like, for real. And then I started Boobs and Lubes, and then it really kind of spread around locally and then internationally. I got a lot of emails, and it was really, really funny. And then I kind of took a little bit of a break because I just felt like I had nothing to say. And that's the thing. It's the truth. It's a passion of mine. It's an art form for me, and it's something that I can't just type something out every day. If I don't have anything to say to my audience, I'm not going to waste their time.
Right.
And then once kind of like, I want to say a year before the show, I just got really back into it. And here we are. And now it's like, it looks really good.
It does look really good. It looks really good. I would be curious to see what it came from.
Oh my God, I have so many versions, and I'm going to say they looked really low budget. I'm not the most technologically savvy human being. Like, I'm not the best at website design or anything like that. So I'm going to TBT some pictures of the
you
old
should.
format.
I would love to see when's the anniversary? I feel like, you could even
November, I have it written down somewhere. I want to say November something.
So, but in November.
Yeah, 2010.
You could even blog about, like how far.
The evolution of boobs and lubes.
Yeah, just where are they now? For the blog.
How far have we come?
Yeah.
It's true. I should do that.
And so with the blog, from what I've seen, and I remember, when the show was coming out in the first season, I went and looked at it then, and just looking at it, there isn't one particular focus. You're not a fashion blogger. You're not a foodie. You're not and that's kind of the thing that I love, because as soon as the show was one of those where I'm like, well, she just talks about her life and just kind of exudes personality and just kind of shares her heart and herself.
Which is what I do.
This is going to change. That's what I thought, because it's just one of those things where, you get on a show, and so it's now, like you said, this is kind of a medium to take off with something.
Right.
And so now I have to identify myself and focus myself. And you didn't do that.
No, I'm not. No, I'm never ever going to do that. Very seriously.
Which I loved that.
Thank you.
And everyone loves that, clearly. They keep reading.
People want you to be genuine, and people want to connect with you, and it's just something that's really personal to me, and no matter how large my career, ends up being, if it ever ends up being that large, hopefully it does, that's going to be my homemade, little baby. That's not something that other people, other people have said to me, well, why don't you get somebody to, help write? I'm like, what? I can't. It's completely me.
It has to be me. Yeah.
It's me. It's my online journal. It's my personality. It's everything I believe in. It's completely me online. So I could never have somebody help me with it, and I will always be the sole contributor to that site.
Yeah.
No matter what.
And do you think that your writing has evolved?
I do.
But not in a censored way?
Not in a censored way at all. I think I've just matured, especially from 24 to 27. I feel like it's been a huge transition, and I feel like I'm not as big of maybe, I have a serious boyfriend, and just things have just kind of are a little bit more formal.
Yeah.
And so I think that maybe my writing translates that way.
Right.
But it's definitely not censored. Like, if I have a herpy, I'll let you know, which I don't and won't ever, but I might.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
But if something like that ever happens,
like, I'm mid-wax, people are going to know about it.
Right.
I had a cyst on my ovary last week, I thought, or I was maybe heavily ovulating, and I wrote that down.
Right.
Right, because that's what happens, because people do that. That's what human beings go through.
And I think that's the thing that makes you so likable, because you aren't, and I feel like you said this last season.
Wait, what did I say?
No, about people that, I don't remember how you would, but basically that people that's Instagram pictures, like every single one is like a photo shoot, and they're perfect. Like, you can't trust them.
I know, but today I put up 2 photos and they were from photo shoots.
No, but I mean, it's different when that's just something you did that day.
Right.
You don't photo shoot to Instagram.
No, you can't.
You know what I mean?
No. I mean, and even last week's episode with Dorothy, when, I don't know if you saw it, when that breakup, whatever, that was very serious. We were in zero makeup. Like, people are not always going to look a certain way. They're not always going to be happy. They're not always going to be friendly and pleasant. And I think you just need to be yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what I try.
And I love that, because a lot of people in your position on a show, out there to be exposed to the world, getting more and more exposure all the time.
Right.
They get so caught up.
And get really crazy with the facial surgery and things like that.
With all of it, and then they can't even, I mean, I don't know, because I'm not in that position, but it just seems like they lose sight of who they are, and the wrong things become important, and then that's when we see
the transition.
These downward spirals of people, in their families, in their marriages, etc. Because they get so, it's not that the show did it, it's that, they changed and evolved in a way that ended up hurting it.
They get ahead of themselves.
Yes.
Is what happens. And they think that they're Beyonce, when in reality you're her third backup dancer understudy. So I think it's really important to just stay true to who you are. But I mean, so cheesy what's with me today, but I feel like my parents are the reason why I'm such a self-sufficient, confident person. I've been like kind of properly treated my whole life, and I've been really built up. And so I very much rely on myself, and I know what's best for me, and I'm not going to I think it's also when you're from a different area, you don't have the same support system, you're very quickly, you're influenced by people, and I'm just not somebody that's like that. So I don't foresee myself having major personality changes throughout my career.
Right. And do you think that, because, in talking about how a lot of marriages and relationships that are exposed in reality TV, they tend to have hard times, I would say, in some way because of that. Right. Would you say that being on the show has bettered your relationship or changed it in any way? Or
we don't the show is not a sort of reflection of, we feel very detached from it, even though it's us. It's not for us. So we're not like, oh my God, you said that, or oh my God, that. It's on TV. We love that people love it. We want people to tune in, but we're not engulfed in it to the point where we no longer have our own relationship. We are who we are on and off camera.
Right.
We're just happy. You know what I mean?
Good.
That's really, I wish that there was some deep, dark, we're happy and we're meant to be together right now, so we are.
Right.
Yeah.
And the show does not affect that, which is refreshing.
It really hasn't. And if it did, I probably would just tell you, because I would be like, they can tell I'm lying right now. I would get very paranoid about it. But no, we're really good. He's really nice.
He seems it. He seems so genuine. And so he grew up here in Beverly Hills?
Yep.
How long have you known him?
I've known Brendan.
I say him like I don't.
No, I've known Brendan for 10 years.
Okay.
For a very long time, far before we dated. And then almost 2 years ago, November, it's going to be 2 years, I ran into him at a restaurant, and he was with a mutual friend of mine. And it was a very long line, and I wanted to share a table. He had no interest in doing so. I said, I don't know why you think there's a choice in this matter. Scoot over.
Right.
And then he left.
It's cute. You think I'm not sitting with you.
Like, I'm sitting with you. Like, I'm not waiting in line, and I'm starving. And like, what better things do you have to do? He was hungover from the night before.
Yeah.
And then 2 hours later, guess who was coming home with me? Not coming home with me. We went to another location.
But
he didn't leave.
Right.
So I basically made the best decision of his life for him.
As we have to as women.
Yes.
For the men in our lives.
They can't. My mom still has to pick out my dad's socks. I mean, they have no idea what's going on. They're like not the most focused.
I love it.
Yeah. It's true.
So how is your relationship with your dad? Because we haven't seen him on the show.
I know his name. No.
That's good.
My dad and I are great. We're very close. I'm very close with both of my parents, and my parents are very much together and in love, which is it's a big rarity, and it's something I'm very fortunate to have experienced my whole life. But my dad and I emailed him before I got here because we got our ratings for the show, which I can't say, but they were good. And he congratulated me. They're really, really proud of me.
Good.
And really happy for my success, and they're kind of happy that I've kind of found myself in a place where I get to expose, who I really am, and on a large scale, and they're awesome.
Absolutely. Well, especially as parents, I can only imagine that they're going to be biased, but in this case, rightfully so,
right.
because they, I feel like every parent looks at their child and they just see this light and this thing that people should see and that the world should get to experience. And so to have them be able to actually live that reality,
it's really special.
Is, great for them too, I would say.
Yeah, and I'm somebody that was never really the girl that was getting A's in school. I was always kind of the anti-school. I really didn't excel in any way. I was good in creative writing, and I was very social, and I had friends and things like that. But it wasn't something that it just wasn't my thing. And so for me to have kind of a career and be good at something, I think is also kind of makes them proud and happy that I found myself in a place that...
Especially this day when it's something you love.
I mean, I'm honestly, genuinely, I'm really fortunate to be in the position I'm in.
People don't get that.
No.
I mean, and even just to know something that you do love. I feel like so many people don't do what they love today because there's so many options. Right. They don't even know where to look. They don't even know what to do.
And it's hard. It's because, usually the things that people love to do aren't things that generate necessarily an income that can sustain any sort of life.
Right.
And so for me, I've just been fortunate enough that it's just worked out.
Yeah. And do you think part of that comes from having parents that have financially been able to help as you've figured out? Or, I mean...
I do. I definitely think when I was in a position where I was very much figuring things out and things were really kind of nor here nor there, nothing was really stable, things very much lessened, and the tightening of the reins really kind of kicked in because they didn't get me an apartment, for example. They weren't just going to say, listen, we're going to get you this apartment and pay X amount of dollars and pay for everything while you wake up and don't have anything to do.
Right.
So they very much monitored that time of me finding myself, and once I've kind of found myself, they were like, okay, we'll help you a little bit more.
Well, we're willing to help you be a productive member of society.
Yeah.
Well, and that's good because I mean, growing up where you did, and maybe not people on the show, but you probably have experienced a lot of people that is not the case.
No,
that there is no limitation,
right,
regardless, or consequence, regardless of how they choose to spend their time and day.
Well, I feel like I gotta say, for the most part, the people that I'm surrounded with, including my castmates and my friends, we're all pretty structured kids. We're not like, just without consequence and you can go spend X amount of dollars and not contribute in some way. We're all pretty not pretty. We're well raised. And it's not just like there was nobody overlooking our finances or what we could or could not do. So I think I gotta say we all come from a really good place.
And do you think that that's the case for most kids that grow up with wealthy parents, or your parents were like that, so of course you tend to be drawn to people like that?
Yeah, I can't speak. I mean, listen, there's exceptions in every case, and I'm sure that there are very wealthy children that, get to go frolic around and do whatever they please, and their parents could care less. But I don't really associate with those people, so I don't really know. I can't speak for it.
Well, and that's good to hear, because I think a little bit on the show, it sometimes looks like that.
Yeah, no,
I'll admit.
It is a show.
It looks like you guys just have, dad's black card and are going and spending, and you know what I mean?
Right.
And I guess that's not entirely true, because I mean, I know Brendan works very hard.
Well, Brendan is completely supports himself 100%. And the girls and I, we very much are finding our way, and we all have our own personal ventures, and we definitely come from a life of privilege, and that's not something that I think any of us apologize for, because it's just the reality.
You can't help that. Truly.
You can't. You can only apologize if you're an asshole, and I don't think that any of us are. Mm-hmm. So I gotta say I'm pretty proud of all of us.
Yeah. Well, and so as the show continues,
yes,
I mean, the blog has started to blow up.
It really,
even more so than, I mean, it was already, like you said, local and some international exposure, but now second season. What's going on with the blog now?
Well, what's going on is I'm consistent as much as I can be. I basically try and write on it every single day, and I'm just basically forging relationships with different people and just brands that I really believe in and advertisements that I believe in, and hopefully it will just continue to grow. I mean, my ultimate goal, I would love for it to turn into a book. I've said that a million times, but that's the ultimate goal. But now it's just like, my little mini business. It's like generating some profit for me, which is really exciting.
Yeah, to make money doing what you love. Yeah. So, so I feel like a little bit, turning it into a book is something that is up to you, right?
No, for sure.
I mean,
no, for sure.
So,
I mean, I definitely have, writing, I mean, it would be about different excerpts that I've written in the blog. I don't know the actual direction of what it would be. I don't know if I would start from scratch and just write an entire book called, I don't know the exact, but that's just
the direction of that. Well, and as that comes, then the book will follow.
Exactly.
Obviously.
Once I have a second to sit down and really navigate how I'm going to go through with it, but I do foresee that being a reality.
Oh, absolutely. I don't see why you wouldn't. It seems too important to you. What is this?
This is Knock on Wood.
Knock on Wood. Oh, I've never seen that.
Do you think I just have a twitch and I'm awkwardly tapping my head?
No, I knew it was intentional. I knew it was intentional.
She's like, what is this bitch doing?
I know, and I thought it was knock on wood because what else? What other phrase has knocking? Lacquer. But
there's no wood.
So, but I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah,
because you've done it a few times.
Could you? Oh, that's so good of me. I love that. See? Yeah.
You've got a thing.
I've got a thing. We have a thing now. Together.
We have a thing.
We're on a yacht and we knock on wood together.
I forgot we were on a yacht.
I haven't gotten off the yacht. I'm waiting for my drinks. I am.
It's right there. It's champagne.
Oh, I know. Cheers on our yacht. I love the yellow accents. Have I told you this yet?
Not on air. Yes.
On air, I'm telling you that I love the yellow.
Chevron.
It's very trendy.
I like. Yeah. Well, and this is our original logo, as far as I know.
Oh.
So Maria did it right when she
I love Maria.
Right. Well, and you share a channel. Have you guys gotten to do anything with press?
Well, no, I have not met her, which I'm really excited to. But I see her on E! News a lot recently, and she has like a shorter do, I feel, and I like it.
She does. Well, so she was with Mario Lopez on Extra.
I mean, I know this, Courtney. You think I didn't know that?
No, I know you know this. But she now has her own show on E! Called Maria Menounos Untold.
Oh, wait. And
it's an hour long, and it's more of a journalistic, like true journalistic, not just going to be entertainment news type stories.
Okay. And she got an hour. Okay, I'm going to call E! I'm going to call
You're going to say, wait a second, season 1, how did she do
No, but it's really random because she definitely doesn't remember this, but I was eating with Dorothy, I want to say about 5 months ago at a restaurant called Craig's, which is really trendy. And she was eating with the head of our network, and she came over and said hello to us, and then Maria, she was very sweet, and she waved, and that was it. She's going to be like, I have no idea what she's talking about. What is she saying? But that it happened.
She might remember. She's actually really good at that kind of stuff, and I'm sure you'll meet her at some point, but she's one of those people just like you, and you guys will totally get along, and she's from Greece, so of course.
I've seen her reality show.
Yes. What did you think of that?
I loved it, and I loved her boyfriend, and I thought, and I love that they're not getting married, or they are, but there's no rush.
Right.
Her dad was hilarious. The Jell-O shot birthday party was fun.
Yes.
But what was really fascinating to me was the next morning after the party, bitch looked gorgeous, like not hungover. She was just like, and I was like, oh my God. But you could tell it was really the next morning.
Right.
It was like really
It was like when you guys don't wear makeup and you're, and it's like she's not, you're like, wait, what?
No, when I don't wear makeup, I look like I'm pumping your gas and I can fry bacon on my forehead, but she looked beautiful. So that was really good.
I think your fans would disagree.
Oh, I have nice fans.
You do?
I do.
Do you get a lot of haters?
Oh yeah. Oh my God. People hate on everything.
So how do you deal with that?
I don't read it.
You don't?
I move on.
You move on.
What people think about me.
People tweet, or are you on Facebook?
Okay, I have a Facebook page. Twitter, all love.
Yes.
Oh, Jesus. That's the last time I'm doing that. I don't get haters on Twitter. Instagram, people will destroy you. So you just don't listen to them because what are they doing?
But I see sometimes you guys will comment on each other's photos. You and Rockstar Dorothy.
Yeah.
I mean, do you, with all of the comments and things that come in, do you actually see them all?
I'm gonna tell you a secret.
Please do.
Okay, so there's a setting on Instagram where you can basically get only notifications from people you follow. So because I follow Dorothy and she follows me back, we can tell if we like each other's photos and we can comment to one another.
And only get those.
So that's like the famous people trick. Like
That's
if I were to be famous, actually.
Stop it. Season 2.
Season 3 is when I'm going to be
I'm famous now.
Listen, I'm just going to phone this interview.
So that's when all the changes are going to start happening.
That's when I'm going to I'm not going to be able to blink at you because I'm going to have so much work done. No.
Would you ever get work done?
Oh my God, I really don't like my nose, but we go back and forth on this all the time.
I'm the same way.
Why? You don't have a big nose at all.
I feel like it's huge. But
oh, you're annoying. You're one of those.
Stop it. You are too.
But mine is like talking to people in a different language.
Stop it.
No, mine's very big. But like, it's one of those things where I don't want to have a Jennifer Grey moment, but I would love to tweak it a little bit and kind of dupe people, being honest. But I don't think I'd get away with being able to get it done without looking severely different. And so that's not a line I'm sure I really want to cross.
Right.
So I just think I'm going to keep it.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, it's what I'm supposed to look like.
That's all you would want to do?
Why do you think there's something else I need?
No. Just on the show, you've mentioned a couple times,
how big my nose is.
No, well, yes, but you've mentioned, there was an episode where you're like walking downstairs and you're like, this is a free plastic surgery.
Nose job.
Yeah. This is free plastic surgery, waiting to happen, basically.
Yes. No, just the nose.
That'd be the only thing. That's how I feel.
Yeah, but you don't need it at all.
But I'm the same way. I loved growing up Celine Dion. My first CD was Celine Dion.
Okay.
And then I found out, Barbra Streisand was one of her girls that she loved.
Never changed it.
And never changed it.
Never.
And so I always have to think back to Barbara, when I'm like feeling that moment of weakness.
Right.
And feeling a little too vain.
Right.
And...
But I will say, first of all, to add to that, Sarah Jessica Parker obviously never did her nose.
Yes.
And she's as big as they get.
Beautiful.
And gorgeous, and it's just a style icon. But if you were to do your nose, your nose is very thin and it's very turned up. I'm staring at you now.
I'm like, I want to cover myself.
No, but if you were to get your nose done, you would be like, oh, you look different. I don't think you'd be able to tell. Mine is very specific. So I feel like if you did it, you don't need it at all, but I think you'd look unbelievable because you wouldn't be able to tell.
And so you don't want to do it because you'd have to own it. I think that you did it.
I mean, I own mostly everything I do.
Well, that's why I was gonna say that doesn't seem like something that would stop you.
I would just look like such a typical blonde bitch. I'm like, nobody wants that.
Really, nobody.
It would just.
Speaking as a brunette, nobody wants that.
It's true. But blondes have a very small window. Like if you look too this way, you're fake. If you look too, it's better to keep a little.
It's totally true.
Yeah.
And it's very easy. I feel like, and I feel bad because I feel like. This is more true of blondes than brunettes. And this isn't even a bias, but it's just one of those where I feel like it's a lot easier. People are going to hate me for saying this.
I don't care.
But it's a lot easier to like overdo the makeup and to just kind of trash it up a little bit.
No question.
I think it's so much easier. And it's not fair. I don't know why it is that way.
But it is.
But I also think that you could just throw your hair in a ponytail and throw a baseball cap on and maybe a little mascara and look fabulous.
Is everyone going to listen? Everyone's seeing that you said that, right?
Yes.
Okay, good.
And I feel like that kind of just that undone, just kind of like the beachy blonde thing, just the beach babe where you just kind of the no makeup and
right.
I think blondes can also go that way.
1,000%.
Way more easier.
Well, I think for blondes, when you see blondes, it's like, is she blonde or is she pretty? I feel like it's two different things.
I like that.
It's true, because it's like, oh, she's blonde, and you immediately look at her, like, I'm so attracted to the yellow in this room. But usually, most of the time, it's like, no, she's just blonde.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to be a little bit of both.
You're trying to be the pretty.
I'm trying to
and then the blonde.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I feel like if I did my nose, I would be just, oh, she's
the blonde.
I've been brunette a couple times.
Really?
Your color. Don't do that.
I've never gone your way. Oh. I've always wanted to try it just to see, but I've never done it.
No. It was not. No. It was good for me for like 5 minutes, and then it was like, oh, I look like Samara from The Ring. Like my nose and the dark hair was so bad. It was not good.
You have to post a photo of it.
I will.
You have to find one of those.
I have some TBT. There was 2 brown phases. One, I was like so skinny and cute and like whatever, and then the second was like all bloated.
Why did I do this?
Yeah, it's so bad. Very impulsive.
Well, and you are the resident blonde, or we'll say pretty, blonde, on the show.
I know.
And it was just this last episode that, for whatever reason, that kind of hit me. Yeah. And I was just kind of like, wait a second, this is California.
Right.
What?
And you don't know, you did that, you're adding to the point. You only noticed it now because I don't look like a typical blonde girl.
Right.
That's what it is. It's not like...
act like.
Thank you.
Or act like the typical.
So then it kind of, she has blonde hair, but that's, I think, the coolest part of our show.
Yeah.
That we're so different. I mean, we're as different as they come.
All three of you.
I mean...
all three of you girls.
Persian, Chinese, and white as hell. I mean, that's awesome.
Yes. And then the boys.
Yeah.
The boys. So
EJ.
Is EJ here now, done with school?
EJ is living here. I spoke to him yesterday on the phone for a very long time. EJ's one of my favorite people.
He seems fabulous.
He's very smart, too.
I believe it.
He's very smart.
I believe it.
I love EJ. Honestly, everybody on the show.
They all look great.
Everyone's cool.
That's great.
But they're
That's
also
good
my
to know.
friends.
Well, I mean, you're still going to be biased.
Yeah, they're my friends.
You're going to be biased a little bit.
So.
Well, so kind of in closing, I guess, one of the things I want to know, you kind of said a book is something that you want to do, but being on TV and having the blog already kind of blowing up, but more so in a new way with the opportunities like Trendable, that are coming in.
Yes.
You know, where do you see yourself wanting to go? Would you, and you've gone on E! And you've hosted a couple times with Dorothy and that kind of stuff.
Research, Courtney. I love it.
I try.
Yeah.
But so,
end goal.
End goal.
I would really, honestly, I would love to have my own talk show. I would love that.
Would you want it to be before or after EJ's Oprah?
I would want it to be at night.
At night.
EJ's like a morning, like...
He's a daytime talk show host.
EJ
You want to be late night
noon.
TV?
I want to be like late night and potentially be drinking throughout it.
I feel like they need a woman at night. I feel like, Conan and the boys could use you.
And I think, that would be my ultimate. And I would just I think I would do a different take on it and would make it a little bit edgier and a little bit more like,
Are you guys listening?
Yeah, hello.
When these guys retire,
make sure
you'll
you
be
watch
ready.
the show so it progresses in that direction.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will. I can't wait to see. So is there anything you can tell me?
The show
going on, and I mean, because I've seen the teaser about you guys talking about kids, and
oh god,
but we haven't seen that.
No.
And in season 1, you talked about wanting, the jokes about the stroller and the mommy,
Yeah.
And even here today, you've kind of mentioned kids and things in the future. So
yes. The only thing I can tell you about the upcoming season is that every episode is better than the next. I know.
Oh my gosh.
I know that was so lame, but it really is. It really gets better and better and better. And this season has had so much heart and substance already. And I just think it's had such a good balance. And that was something we were all really excited to see. And as the episodes go on, I think you'll laugh, cry, and be blown away by a lot of things that come up.
So what's your favorite episode?
I haven't seen the final cuts, but I know I lived it, so I know. But I don't. Maybe episode. I don't know. I can't go by episodes because I don't know what's going to make it into what. But it's good.
All right.
It's good.
You'll leave me with that.
I will. I know.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming and joining me here today.
Thank you so much.
So this was really fun.
Really fun. I'm coming back.
You should.
Good.
We'll bring whoever wants to come in.
Done.
If Brendan comes, which he should,
he will.
Come with him.
He has nothing to do.
Clearly nothing.
Nothing. He's just at work all day. No big deal. He can just come sit next to me and talk to me all night.
He's babysitting Baguette right now, isn't he? Can Baguette come?
You would die with Baguette. She is.
I want
to be very clear. My last sign off. Baguette is that cute in real life.
I can't.
She is the cutest thing. I know.
I don't have a dog because I'm gone too much, but I want one. I want nothing more than a dog.
You live longer if you have a dog.
I'm buying it. Let's go. Can we go buy a dog after this?
I'm still on my boat, but I'll get off it.
Oh, well, yeah. We're gonna float to shore and go get me a dog.
Yeah. Oh my God, this was so fun.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Morgan Stewart, you guys, Rich Kids of Beverly Hills, boobsandlubes.com.
Yes.
Where can we find you on social media?
Okay, so my Instagram name is boobsandlubes_, LOUBS, not LUB. People get that confused. And my Twitter is Morgan_Stewart.
Okay.
I hope that's right.
Yes. And your Twitter?
Morgan_Stewart.
Right. Oh, you just said that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I just repeated it.
I was trying to remember what came next.
Yeah.
I was like, what's my Twitter? I'm Courtney Henderson, your host today, and I can be found on Instagram and Twitter at Cohen, COUHEN. Thanks for joining us.
After From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.